This episode contains graphic descriptions and audio that may be upsetting to some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. There are moments in our lives that are forever ingrained in our memories. I can recall hearing my grandparents talking about where they were when they heard that John F. Kennedy was assassinated. My father would tell me the tale of where he was when he heard that one of his idols, John Lennon, was murdered. They all appeared to know exactly what was going on, down to the last tedious detail when those moments occurred. It was as if this simple thought of those events could transport them back in time, even to this day. For me, I can remember exactly where I was when I heard that a plane had flown into one of the World Trade Centers in New York. I was in Mrs. Dodd's 5th grade class. All the teachers were called to the office on the loudspeaker, and when they came back, we were told to gather our things and to be ready to go home, with seemingly no explanation as to why. Our parents were either going to pick us up, or those in walking distance from their home were going to meet their parent at the corner of the block. As many of you know, I'm a resident of Pennsylvania, only a few hours away from New York. So since there was news of multiple plane hijackings that day, and specifically a plane flying in PA, schools near Philadelphia were dismissed for safety reasons. They didn't tell us what was going on, but I remember seeing teachers crying, and everyone looked really frightened. When I met my mom at the corner, I asked what happened, and she told me. Then, when we arrived at home, we sat and watched the news for what seemed like hours. These types of moments last forever. Tragedy can make time stand still, and it doesn't even matter how large of a scale the event is. So some moments, even ones that we never even hear about, but rip through the lives of many, time always stands still. And people don't forget where they were when some of the biggest moments in their lives happened. You're listening to The Apex and the Abyss, and this is the story of Maria Ridulph.
The 1957 murder of 7-year-old Maria Ridulph still haunts the small town of Sycamore, Illinois. Bill Hindenburg was also a 7-year-old at the time. His grandfather was the police chief.
Back then, we didn't want to even think about the possibility that monsters ran around, but they sure did.
On December 3rd, 1957, in Sycamore, Illinois, Maria Ridulph and her friend Kathy Sigmund were playing outside. They had made up a game called Duck the Cars. Basically, what they would do is dodge the car lights going up and down their street. They would hide behind parked cars and trees, all to remain out of the view of the headlights. An innocent game, to say the least. While playing, a young man who identified himself as Johnny came up to the pair. This Johnny was older, most likely in his late teens or early 20s. He was thin, had light-colored hair, and a notable gap in between his front 2 teeth. He also had on a colorful sweater that stuck out. Johnny began chit-chatting with Maria and Kathy. He asked them if they liked to play with dolls, and asked them if they wanted a piggyback ride. Kathy felt uncomfortable at the idea of getting a piggyback ride from someone she didn't know, so she declined. But Maria agreed. They ran around for a few minutes before Maria told Johnny she wanted to show him her favorite doll, but she had to run back to her house to get it. Kathy was left alone briefly with Johnny. When Maria returned, Kathy went back to her house to grab her mittens. It was the beginning of December in Illinois, and it was snowing. At this point, her hands had gotten cold. This time around, Maria was left alone with this man named Johnny. Kathy was only gone for a few minutes, but when she returned, Maria and Johnny were nowhere to be found. Worried about her best friend, Kathy went to Maria's house to inform the Ridulphs that she couldn't find her. At first, the family didn't think anything too serious had happened to their little Maria, so they sent out her older brother to look for her. They thought that maybe she was hiding, or she had wandered off too far on their street and had gotten lost. Something that had happened in the past. It was dark outside, so maybe she just lost her way. As time went on and still no Maria, the Ridulph family finally decided to contact the police. Almost immediately, it seemed like the whole neighborhood and law enforcement was out looking for the girl. By 9 p.m., Maria's doll, the one she had grabbed to show Johnny, was found near a neighborhood garage during a search. but still no sign of Maria. Within 2 days, the FBI would arrive to aid in the search. They believed that it was possible that Maria had been taken across state lines, which is a federal crime. The timeline surrounding this case is somewhat muddled and has changed a lot throughout the years. But from witness testimony, interviews with neighbors, and family, it was concluded that the girls had been playing by themselves somewhere between 6 and 6:30 that evening. It is believed that Maria was abducted somewhere between 6:45 and 7 p.m. on the evening of December 3rd. The police searches didn't turn up anything in regards to where Maria went. However, it wasn't due to a lack of trying. They put up roadblocks, checked cars and trunks, had massive search parties, everything you could hope for when there is a missing child in your area. All the police really had to go on is the information that Kathy provided them. Unfortunately, she was the only person to see and interact with this Johnny. The police feared that this assailant might come back to tie up a loose end, so Kathy was put into protective custody for a time. Eventually, Kathy was shown a lineup of photos of criminals and potential suspects that matched the description that she gave. Kathy would ID a man by the name of Thomas Rivard as Johnny. But what Kathy didn't know at the time is that the police had put his photo in the lineup as a filler. They knew that it wasn't Rivard that had kidnapped Maria. He had an airtight alibi for the night of her disappearance. He was in jail at the time. So the police weren't sure at this time if they could even trust Kathy's testimony about his description. A tip would come in for the police and the FBI to look into a young man by the name of John Tessier. John was slender, had light-colored hair, and a gap in between his front 2 teeth. Just like Kathy described. John was 17 years old at the time of Maria's disappearance and lived in the same neighborhood as the girls. He would be interviewed and given a polygraph test about the crime. But not much came from that investigation. John stated that he wasn't in the area at the time of the kidnapping. And that was that. The search for Maria would come to a halt on April 26, 1958. 2 people walking through a wooded area in Woodbine, Illinois, which is about 100 miles away from Sycamore, would find the skeletal remains of Maria Ridulph. They were under a fallen tree. Her body had been there for months. She was found only wearing a shirt and socks, and the only way that she could be identified was through her dental records and the DNA from strands of her hair. Due to the decomposition of the body and the technology back in 1958, a cause of death couldn't be determined at the time. Over the next 50 years, the case would go cold. The Ridulph family believed they would never get answers as to what happened to their little Maria. And in 1997, the Sycamore police lieutenant at the time would close the case and state that a man by the name of William Henry Redmond was responsible for Maria's murder. Redmond was from Nebraska, and he had a job as a carny and a truck driver. He seemed to fit the bill of a legitimate suspect, to be honest. Around 1988, Redmond was charged in the 1951 murder of an 8-year-old girl, and he was also a suspect in the disappearance of Beverly Potts. Although the charges of murder in the 1951 case were eventually dropped, many people believed he was guilty of the terrible crime. While in jail, he would even admit to other inmates about crimes he committed, and one in particular was very similar to Maria's. But William Henry Redmond died in 1992. So at this point, you would think that this would be the end of the story, but it's far from being over. In 2008, the case would be reopened again. Janet Tessier, John Tessier's half-sister, would come forward with a tip about her brother. She stated that while on her deathbed in 1994, their mother Eileen told Janet that John had killed Maria. Eileen was quoted as saying, "Those 2 little girls, and the one that disappeared. John did it. John did it. And you have to tell someone." Janet knew exactly what 2 little girls that her mother was referring to. When Maria went missing and was subsequently found, it rocked the town of Sycamore to its core. Everyone knew her story, and it seemed like a vast majority of its occupants tried to find her. It would come to light the further the police questioned the Tessier family that there was something off about John's timeline the day Maria went missing, and what the sisters claimed they witnessed. Eileen told investigators that John was home the night of the disappearance. but his sisters knew he wasn't. They had slept on the couch that night because their parents had gone out to search for Maria and did not return until the early morning hours. They had to let their parents back into the house, and there was no way for John to return home without them knowing. They had the door specially locked up, so you could not get in from the outside at all. That seems odd. Why would a mother lie to police about her son's whereabouts? To protect him? Or was it just a mistake? I think before we continue down the rabbit hole, we need to stop and go back a few steps. You will find that when you listen to this story, that there are many facts, many timelines, and a lot of confusion. To provide more clarity, I think it's important to go back and give you more details about John Tessier and his beginnings. On November 27, 1939, John Tessier was born. But this is not his birth name. His actual name is John Cherry. He was the son of Samuel and Eileen Cherry. They welcomed their baby boy into the world in Belfast, Ireland. Samuel Cherry, John's birth father, was a sergeant in the British Armed Forces and would tragically be killed in World War II. John's mother, Eileen, was an airplane spotter for the UK Royal Air Force, a title that, in her time, was rarely held by women. During her time as an airplane spotter, Eileen met a man who was serving in the U.S. Air Force by the name of Ridulph Tessier. By 1944, the pair would be married. A few years later, Ralph, Eileen, and John would leave Europe and move to Sycamore, Illinois. This is where the family settled and started their life. By the time that they moved to Sycamore, John was 7 years old, and he would be the eldest of 7 children within his new family. John would still use his birth name of John Cherry every once in a while, but he would eventually go by the surname Tessier. A lot of speculation flies around as to what kind of person John was. It is rumored that he sexually assaulted and molested his sisters when they were younger, but there was never any documented proof of this. When John was in 10th grade, he was expelled from high school for yelling at a teacher and pushing her, and when he was 18 years old, he decided to join the U.S. Air Force. This decision and his prep for his enlistment coincided with Maria's disappearance on December 3, 1957. As previously stated, John's half-sister heard a deathbed confession from their mother in 1994. So why would it take 14 years for the case to be reopened, especially if she brought it to them back then? It wasn't for a lack of trying. Janet, John's half-sister, allegedly contacted the police and FBI regarding this tip, but was given the runaround by both of them. Eventually, in 2008, Janet got a hold of the Illinois State Police via email, and the cold case unit decided to look into the tip. Throughout this new investigation, the FBI would interview Janet and her sisters. One sister would state how John molested her and others when she was a young child. There was also one other incident that came to light that would cast a pall over this cold case. The long and short of the story goes, John was giving a girl a piggyback ride, refused to put the girl down, and when the father saw this occurring, he confronted John. Now, if you remember, according to Maria's friend Kathy, this Johnny gave Maria a piggyback ride. This could be a mere coincidence, or it could be something more. Speaking of Kathy, she was asked to look at another lineup of photos to see if she could pick out Johnny. She was shown a lineup of yearbook photos, and among them was a picture of John from a dance that was blown up to match the other photos. Remember, John never graduated, so he didn't have a yearbook photo. Regardless, Kathy picked out John Tessier as the man that was speaking to her and Maria on December 3rd. It's interesting. The investigators obtained this photo of John from a former girlfriend of his. The girlfriend he had at the time of Maria's disappearance, actually. This former girlfriend provided not only this shot of John while he was young, but also a train ticket. But not just any train ticket, a military-issued ticket from Rockford to Chicago that was dated for December of 1957. If you're not familiar, when you enlist in the military, at least back then, they would provide you with the means to get you to the recruitment center by giving you a train ticket. When you get on the train, a worker goes up and down the rows of the moving car and punches the ticket to indicate that you were on the ride and that you paid. This ticket was unpunched, damaging John's previous alibi. What investigators thought is that it was possible that John never took the train from Rockford to Chicago, and he would have potentially been around to kidnap Maria by the evening. For instance, he could have driven his car to the recruitment facility and gone back to Sycamore, kidnapped her, and then driven to Rockford to establish an alibi. Is that a little far-fetched? A little. But possible? Absolutely. If we have learned anything in the true crime genre, anything is possible. By July of 2011, the investigators believed they finally had enough information to bring John, now Jack Daniel McCullough, in for questioning in the disappearance and the murder of Maria Ridulph. Very early on in the investigation, John was suspicious as to why he was even being questioned.
We've not been formally introduced. I'm Dave Zalowski.
Dave, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Brian?
Brian?
I'm Brian Hanley.
Nice to meet you.
Brian, I'm an investigator, and Brian's with Illinois State Police. And
With who?
Illinois State Police.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what you probably remember a long time ago, back 50 years ago, a young girl was abducted.
I called that in. I called the FBI about that.
Okay. Back in December 3rd, 1957.
Maria.
Maria, exactly.
Yes.
And we've been going through and doing some new interviewing and new investigations regarding that.
Yeah, I'd be glad to help with that.
And, I wanted to talk with you because there's a number of things that came up, additionally, and we value your insights in this. I know we've kind of inconvenienced you, but I think if we can count on your help to resolve this, it would be great.
Sure.
We've got if we can just do some administrative stuff first,
Sure.
name, address, some biographical stuff, and
Sure.
kind of get that out of the way first, and we can kind of get started with this.
Okay. And your first name is...
Jack.
Okay, and your middle name is...
Daniel.
McCullough, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Do you have any other alias or nicknames or anything other than that?
John Cherry.
Okay.
John Tessier. My stepfather. You're investigating a child, right? You're not investigating me.
Right. This is a personal history form.
All right.
We fill this out for
everybody. All right.
Our
Right.
command wants
The
us.
bosses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I just do what I'm told.
Yeah.
Okay. The final thing that we do for everyone in Illinois is witness, suspect. I just want to advise you of your rights.
Go ahead.
Okay. Before we ask you any questions, it's my duty to advise you of your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court or other proceedings. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask you any questions and have him with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to you free of cost before questioning if you wish. And you understand that.
That's all good advice. I'm on your side on this.
Okay.
I'm trying to help you.
Right. I mean, like I said,
We just
Yeah, right.
gotta follow the boss's rules.
yeah.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Because if the forms ain't filled out,
Yeah.
Okay. When are you going to get to the good part now?
We are done with my
Okay.
part.
All right.
After being read his rights, he would then tell them the story of his life, give details about his family, and then his alibi for the night of December 3rd, 1957.
I had a dream, and then it reminded me of a conversation I had as a kid. There's a little grade school that's only a block away from my home in Sycamore, which is 226. Oh, you want to write that down? The address in Sycamore?
Okay.
227 Center Cross Street, Sycamore, and I don't remember the zip. Anyway, I was talking to a kid, and he said, "You see that guy over there?" And I was probably 13, 17. Anyway, and he said, "Stay away from that kid. He wants to talk about sex." This kid, now I'm going to have to reach back and remember his name. I think I wrote it to the FBI, but it bothered me enough where I called up. And he lived with two boys named Davies. Don Davies is one of them, and I don't remember the other one. He was a kid they allowed to stay with them. He didn't have a home in Sycamore, and on the same block as Maria lived.
Well, let me kind of, because I want to come back to this, because this is part of what I want to talk about. But kind of help me. You were, I think you said about 17 or so at the time. Kind of take me back and give me a flavor of what Sycamore was like.
My God, Sycamore is Mayberry RFD. It was a wonderful place to grow up. And, I knew everybody. I had paper routes all over town, so I had personal knowledge of everybody. It was just a great town. It still is.
At that time, how did you kind of get around town? I mean, was there bus routes or was it bicycles?
I never took a bus. When I was younger, it was always a bicycle, and then I became a teenager, and I got an old clunker.
So how did you end up getting that?
I had a paper route.
Oh, so basically just saved up and...
I paid for it by the week.
Okay, so it was... so was this then a family car?
No, it was my car.
Okay, so you didn't give him... Nobody else drove it, then it was just primarily yours?
It was my car.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't loan it out to buddies or anything?
No.
Okay. You've got some siblings, I think, that you... What was the family like? Your mom,
5
dad,
sisters and 1 brother.
Ralph and Eileen's children?
Yes.
So you're the only step to Ralph then?
Correct.
Okay. What were they like to grow up with?
Great.
So no conflicts, no, just kind of...
Yeah. It's Mayberry,
Mayberry,
yeah.
Okay. Honest, kind...
Exactly.
People, so trustworthy.
And all of them brighter than me.
Well, that's... then they must be pretty smart, huh?
Yeah.
Now, I want to go back to, and this to me is kind of a thing, it's kind of like, we all remember where we were when President Kennedy was shot or 9/11 happened. And this is kind of the 9/11 for Sycamore. I mean, anybody who we've talked to who's...
You're gonna like this. Go ahead.
Yeah. So tell me kind of what you remember about that.
The day Maria was kidnapped, I was in the induction center in Chicago, joining the Air Force. I spent the entire day there, and they have a record of it minute by minute.
Well, if one thing the military is good about is keeping records, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Requisition this, we need it in triplicate, right?
Yeah. I was really pissed. The FBI talked to me back then as a suspect, and they even interrogated me, and is because the suspect that they think took Maria had a green coat, and I had a favorite green jacket at the time. I'm sure they asked the neighbors, anybody with a green jacket? Yeah, Jack's got one.
So how did you wind up at the induction center?
I don't know how I got there. I may have taken the train. I was there most of the day. And you can check with the FBI because they gave me a lie detector test. I was disappointed in them, really, really disappointed, because I had an ironclad alibi of where I was. And they didn't even check. Didn't even make a phone call. I was very disappointed.
After telling the investigators his whereabouts and realizing that maybe he was a suspect, he became immediately defensive and agitated.
Now, did you have to purchase your own ticket? Did they give you a ticket?
Oh, no. Just don't remember it all. Is it important?
I mean, as much as you can remember is important. I appreciate the fact that we're talking about, over 50 years
you're looking at me as
later.
a suspect now. I don't like this.
Well, I'm as I told you, there's been some discrepancies in, interviews that we're having, and that's why I'm trying to find these things out to try to see what happened, what went on, and whatever. And I'm looking for you to be as candid as you can and be as remembered much as you can.
I'm trying, but you're barking up the wrong tree. There's nothing there.
I may be barking up the wrong tree, but I'm trying to find out what happened on the day and where you were on the day she disappeared?
I already told you.
Well, but
I
I
spent
want...
the entire day in Chicago that day.
Okay, but what time did you get home? Because she wasn't abducted at noon, so that doesn't mean anything to me that you were downtown. I accept the
I
fact
don't even
that you
know
were
when she was
downtown.
abducted. I assumed it was daytime.
So nobody ever told you that?
Nobody ever told me.
Okay. Tell me, let's start at the beginning. So you went into the induction center. What time did you get there?
Don't recall.
What station did you go out of?
Oh, see, you can do all this research in Chicago.
Well, I know I can, but I want to hear what you have to say.
And I'm telling you, it's vague. I don't know.
Okay. Well, here's the thing, is that the story that you gave the FBI just doesn't match up.
Match up to what?
To what people say.
What people say about what?
What people said you were doing and where you were.
Nobody knows what I was doing that day. Because
Well,
I was in Chicago.
you do, and the people, well, when you got back in the evening, what did you do? This was a big day. I mean, this is a day that...
I probably crashed because it was a hard day.
So you think you were home asleep?
I'm assuming. I didn't have any place else to go. I go home.
So why would people say you weren't there?
Who? What people?
Your sisters?
They don't know.
Oh, they say they do.
They don't know where I was back then.
Yeah, they do.
No.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're done.
I'm disappointed because here's the thing.
You're disappointed that I don't have a memory of it?
No, I'm actually I am disappointed in that because I hoped you would have some explanations.
And my sisters think I had anything to do with her abduction?
They just said you weren't home
Because I was in Chicago.
overnight.
I don't remember where I stayed. I don't remember how I got home. It's 1957.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, how about if I tell you what you told the FBI,
What do you think I told the FBI?
what they put in your report
Okay.
about the interview that you had?
All right.
Okay. See if this helps you at all. It said that you had gone on the 2nd of December, which would have been the day before, and that you got a train ticket for Rockford, and that you went down to the city, and then you were rejected because of the spot, and that they asked you to stay overnight at the YMCA, and then you went to the second day,
I don't remember any of this.
and that you had another physical exam, apparently, and then you came back to Rockford.
I might have joined in Rockford, but that's just paperwork. I joined twice. Because I got out for a year and went back. Rockford wasn't in the first thing at all, I don't think. Rockford was the second time I enlisted, which would have been 1960 or 61.
Well, apparently you were delivering stuff to Rockford, to the post office.
No recollection of that.
Well, that's what you told them,
I told who?
the FBI. So I'm assuming you didn't lie to them, right?
No, but I don't remember anything about this.
Okay, but I'm just, I mean, if you lied to them about something, then this is incorrect. If you told them the truth about that, then the information that they have in their report should accurately reflect what you told them. Would that be correct then?
If you've got any kind of documentation from back then, great. But I don't remember any of it.
It's interesting how his memory was so vivid when it came to certain details, but now that he realized he was a suspect, he seemingly lost his memory.
The problem is that if we accept this story as what you told them, I mean, unless they just made up lies about you, okay? So we take this as...
See, the thing that bothers me is I don't remember even talking to him that much. I remember taking the lie detector test, and that's it. There was a guy that was assigned to me, and he drove me around a lot. He drove me around town and asked me if I had any ideas about different people that they may be looking at, or if I had any ideas, who might know anything. And after they did the lie detector test, they let me go and didn't bother me anymore.
Okay. When we start to look at the story that you tell here, okay, and we've done a lot of interviews, there's things that just aren't right. First of all, you had the nickname Johnny, I think.
Yeah.
So the person that was introduced themselves to the girls said he was Johnny. The description of the person matches you down to the gap in the teeth.
Yeah, that's really was surprising.
Yeah, well, I'm sure, but that's what they height, the weight.
See, but that was my neighborhood. Everybody knew me. So if they had seen me on the street, Maria's parents knew me. I used to play with their daughters in the backyard.
See, and that's well, the description isn't coming from Maria though. It's coming
she was
Kathy.
kidnapped.
Right, it's coming from Kathy, the other girl that was there. So she described somebody who looked remarkably like you, and had the gap in the teeth, the same color hair.
I didn't hear anything about these descriptions. The only thing I heard was he had a green jacket.
Well, actually, it was a sweater that was the description.
All right, I don't have a green sweater. I had a jacket.
Well, and it wasn't a green sweater. It was a multicolored sweater.
See, it's not me.
Yeah. Well, but your family says that you had a multicolored sweater that was just the same description, and that after Maria disappears, that sweater disappears.
Oh, this is bullshit.
Well, that's why I want to sit and talk to you about it. I mean, it might be bullshit, but
number one, I don't ever remember a multicolored sweater. My favorite jacket was a fuzzy green jacket which I bought myself. My favorite shirt at the time was a blue silk shirt.
Well, this apparently was a sweater that you wore all the time, and then nobody in the family saw it after Maria disappeared.
So there's no records in Chicago at the induction center?
Oh, I'm not even questioning the induction center. We're talking about in Sycamore is what I'm talking about now.
Yeah.
I accept the fact you were in the induction center. Absolutely, you were there.
Absolutely.
Okay, I don't doubt that for a second.
Right.
Okay, but now we're talking about the evening of the 3rd. She isn't taken till 6 p.m. So what happens on the 2nd and what happens all day long, and on the 3rd downtown in the induction center is really irrelevant.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
And I didn't hear until years later that some mushroom hunters found her somewhere down south.
Here's the other issues. Let me just go through it. Kind of. I want to tell you what you said, and then what everybody else says, just to be fair to you.
Yeah.
Okay. That you call your house with a collect call, and you're on the phone for about 2 minutes.
I did that a lot. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, you did it the evening of her disappearance. It's supposed to be for somebody to go pick you up. The family says that nobody can go pick you up because Ralph's not at home. He's taking Kathy to a 4-H club meeting in DeKalb someplace. Okay. And by the time he gets back, it's like 8:30, 20 to 9, because the police have already been contacted. There's squad cars all over the place. Everybody's looking for Maria, who's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. But you tell the FBI that your dad picks you up at 8 o'clock, but he can't because he's running your sister back and forth from this.
This is all so wet because who knows about what time exactly you do anything. I was a kid.
Well, we know for sure that she had this. We know what time the police were contacted. We know what time they arrived. So for her to see all these cars and ask what happened, it already has to be done. So at this point, it's 8:30, 20 to 9. Now you, in your statement to the FBI, claim that you're back in town at 9:20.
So?
Well,
it's a half an hour drive to Rockford.
Okay. But you also say that you're going out on a date with with Jan. And Jan says, we didn't go out on a date.
Yeah,
and she said, I know we didn't go out on a date because my parents wouldn't let me out of the house because of what was going on with the abduction of Maria.
Oh.
So now we have a couple of other inconsistencies. Why are you telling people you went on a date when you couldn't have gone on a date?
Who said I couldn't have gone on a date?
Well, Jan says. She says her parents wouldn't let her out of the house. You weren't there. So, I mean, that's I'm just telling you. Okay?
Yeah.
It's just, I can only go by what you told the FBI.
I don't even remember any of this.
Okay. Well, I'm telling you what the FBI wrote and what they said. And
so how does that make me a suspect?
well, let's review. Your name is Johnny.
Yeah.
The guy who took him says his name is Johnny.
Really?
Yeah. His description, including the gap in the teeth, looks just like you. We've got a sweater that matches what she describes the guy was
There's
wearing.
a car description, isn't there?
Oh, we'll come to that.
All right.
Okay. But that sweater disappears.
Yeah.
You say your dad picks you up, Ralph, and yet Ralph can't be picking you up because he's taking care of your sister, running her back and forth. You say, I went out on a date with my girlfriend. She says, no, we didn't. My parents wouldn't let me go out. He never came over. You say, I stayed the night.
Where?
In your home.
Probably.
The girls say you weren't there. And they know you weren't there because Ralph and your mom went to help search and help to feed the people. And they put a lock on the front door so that they couldn't get in. They put a 2x4 across the back door so they couldn't get in. And they told the girls, one of you has to sleep on the couch and let us in when we get here. They come home at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, let them in, you're not there. So where are you?
I might be in Chicago.
You can't be in Chicago. Well, I mean, you could be in Chicago, but you said you were in Rockford. Your phone call comes from Rockford. So you can't be in Chicago if the phone call collect is from Rockford.
This is all bullshit. I don't know anything about it. I can't remember any of this that you're telling me.
Well, let's go on.
And you're trying.
Let me just continue here.
You're trying to say there's a pattern, and there's no pattern. I was in Chicago when this all happened.
No, you weren't, because it happened at 6 o'clock at night. The problem is that nobody sees you searching in the evening. So
I wasn't searching in the evening. I didn't even know about it until later.
Where did you go?
Huh?
I mean, this is a big deal. Everybody's out searching, screaming for the little girl.
I went searching like the next day.
Well, see, and that's the same thing. To the FBI, you say that you're with Jack Manis, and that you find magazines, sex magazines, that you turn into the police department. The police department says, we didn't get any magazines from anybody. Jack Manis says, number one, you weren't with him. Number two, he didn't find any magazines, and if he did find them, he would have kept them.
This is all bogus. I don't remember anything about any magazine.
Well, I'm just telling you what you told the FBI.
What they say I said.
Well,
I'm not saying I said it.
Well,
It sounds to me like they're making shit up. And I'm telling you already how disappointed I am in the FBI.
Well, I would say, you also told the FBI that you had some sex play with your sister.
Oh my God! I took a lie detector test.
We're talking about what you said.
Yeah, right.
Did you have sex with your sister?
And they said, and he said, when was this? I said, when we were little.
Okay. Now your sister says that it wasn't just when you were little.
So?
Well, so what I'm pointing out here is that if you say you told them the FBI the truth,
yeah,
and you were little, and yet at the same time you're having sex with your sister.
I am not having sex with my sisters.
They say you are.
I am not.
Not now. I don't know if you're now. You're probably
Did
not.
not.
Well, that's not what they say.
Did not.
That's not what they say.
Doesn't matter.
Well, that's fine. I'm just telling you what not just one, but multiple sisters have said.
Right.
Okay. They also say, well, actually, Dave Frederick says that he saw your car driving in the late afternoon in Sycamore.
So?
Well, you said nobody drives your car but you.
I'm telling you, I don't remember any of this.
I'm just telling you what everybody's saying.
All right.
Your mother also says that to Janet and Mary that you killed her, Maria.
This is a lie. This is a lie. My mother loved me to death.
I know she did.
And she was crying when the FBI wanted to talk to me.
I have no doubt, because she also told them some lies to the FBI.
My mother doesn't lie.
Well, she said you were home all night, and the girls sat right there and said he couldn't be in. We looked, he wasn't home. The doors are all locked. Nobody can get in without us opening the door. And your mother didn't tell the FBI the truth. Now, she may have been protecting you.
Protecting me by saying I murdered them? Murdered a girl?
I think that's what she was thinking that you did here. And I think
No, this is bullshit. It's all bullshit. My mother wouldn't say that.
Your mother did say that.
She didn't.
Yeah.
No, she didn't.
Well, and here's the other problem is that
because my mother knew where I was that day.
Forget about during the day at the Army. That means nothing, because the incident doesn't happen until 6 o'clock at night. I agree with you. I absolutely 100%, absolutely 100% agree that you were down in the city having a physical.
Yeah.
Okay. That's irrelevant.
Yeah.
The incident doesn't happen till after 6 at night.
And where was I?
Well, you claim that you're in Rockford.
So?
So?
Where does the train get off?
In Rockford.
It doesn't go to Sycamore.
Well, apparently not.
Okay, and if I'm in Rockford at 7 o'clock, I make a phone call from there at 7 o'clock and ask for a ride?
Yeah. But nobody can come get you.
So I got a thumb, I can hitchhike.
Well, the other problem is that we can take all this stuff that's being said here, but when you're given a ticket by the military to go downtown, right?
Sure.
Okay. So it doesn't make any sense not to take the ticket.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The problem is that the ticket didn't get used. Yeah. I mean, you know how the military is. Here's your ticket to go to Rockford, or to go from Rockford to Chicago. You never used it. You know where this comes from? Jan Edwards. You know how women are sentimental, they keep everything?
Yeah.
She's got a pictures of you, and she said, yeah, John gave me this.
That's really funny.
Well, I think it's not funny. I think it questions whether or not you were involved in this.
Scrambling, he would attempt to cast blame on someone else in the neighborhood to try and get the target off of his back.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, I'm not involved. You can give me a lie detector test, I'll pass it.
Okay, all right. Why don't we do that right now?
All right.
Okay, good. You want another cup of coffee?
No.
Okay. Be back with you in just a second.
I'm going to talk to you.
You want to talk to me?
Yeah.
About what?
About who I think did it.
Okay.
Nobody seems to be interested in what I'm saying.
Okay.
I may have to contact you again when I come up with a name, because
I'll give you my business card.
it's in here. Great. Okay. But this kid that lived with the Davies. Now the Davies lived on the same side of the street as Maria, 2 blocks up. They lived right across the street from this little grade school. And anyway, years later, it just kind of dawned on me, this guy would have been perfect. He was about my height. He looked something like me.
Mm-hmm. You said what was his name?
I'm trying to think of it.
Oh,
But
it's not coming to you.
It's not coming to me.
Okay.
But I when I called the FBI, I gave them the name.
So they should have it.
They should have it.
Okay.
Anyway, this guy did look something like me, and I don't know if he had a gap in his teeth, but he was weird. And
How do you know that?
this kid told me, and I observed.
Okay. So you don't know that firsthand
I
that
don't
he's
know.
weird? Like what's weird?
Okay, not normal.
You observed this, or
Yes.
this is what this
I
other
observed.
boy?
This is what I observed.
Okay.
I'd seen him around the neighborhood a few times, and I didn't like him, so I didn't have any kind of a relationship or conversation even with him. But I remember him that day on a school ground, and one of the kids telling me if I knew that guy, and I said I knew him, and he wasn't standing very far from me, and he said he talks about sex and like little kid stuff, you know, and stay away from him. So I just recorded that and then promptly forgot it until years later.
Mm-hmm. But you understand what Dave is talking about, correct? I mean, you know, some things happen, and you understand that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
No. Well, the inconsistencies and whatnot, and you know.
You can find anything from anything.
Okay.
And I was devastated by that little girl was taken.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. You said when you were younger, you had a sexual encounter with your sister. Accidentally, on purpose, whatever. Doesn't matter. That was the only time that happened? Jack, just be honest with me.
I don't know.
You don't know if that was
You
the
know,
only time?
No.
So there could have been other times.
Yeah.
As you got older, there could have been other times.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this doesn't make me a suspect in a murder.
Did I say that?
No.
No, I didn't say that.
All right.
Why would you say that?
Why are you talking about it?
It's just information that we've gotten.
All right.
And when Dave asked you, it only happened once, you said yes. I never ever had a sexual encounter with my sisters other than that. Well, that's a lie.
I never had sex.
Okay. What did you have?
Just playing around.
Okay. All right. Okay. So playing around with your sisters.
Yeah.
Okay. That's, you know what? That we just want you to be honest. You know.
Yeah.
And when Dave asked you that, he
said sex.
Okay. Well, I mean, you know what we mean.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm not going to assume anything, and you guys shouldn't be assuming things either.
Right, exactly. But why didn't you clear that up when Dave? No, I didn't have sex. We played around. We screwed around. But you said, no, I did not have sex. You know, we just want you to be honest. You know, it'll make it a lot easier for you and me.
What's it got to do with this little girl?
It's just a background of your childhood and your life. We've talked to people. The questions that we ask you, we know the answers.
You think you know the answer?
Well,
because everything he's saying to me is, I don't have a recollection of any of it.
Well, it's funny because you have a recollection of some things, a strong recollection of some things.
Yeah.
But then you can't remember other things.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, this is like 9/11, Kennedy. I mean, this was huge in Sycamore. Am I right?
I'm going to tell you something. I did not kidnap that little girl. I did. Look at my eyes. I did not have anything to do with that little girl.
Okay.
And she was loved in the neighborhood. She was a little Mexican girl with big brown eyes, and she was sweet as could be, hardly said a word to anybody, and everyone loved her.
Okay.
This was crushing for the entire
for
city.
Community.
And
Absolutely.
it was in crushing for me as well because I knew the family.
Okay. All right.
During the interrogation, the two detectives that started the questioning would step out and someone else would step in. Right away, the detective told John how he felt about his story and how he didn't believe that he was being totally upfront with him.
I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel about something like this. I feel that you're hiding something, that you're holding something back, and that it's something that's embarrassing to you. But you got to realize, you're kind of like in a world of shit right now, okay? And you're going to have to give up the truth, okay? To save your own ass, to be smart. There's certain things that happen here that I know happened, you know happened here. Once again, I'm not saying, from reviewing this file, I'm not saying here that you killed that girl. Okay?
I did not.
I'm not saying you did, okay?
That's what I'm investigating for, right?
That's exactly what you're being investigated for.
All right.
Okay? You're holding back some things here.
Which has nothing to do with anything.
Okay, well, that's the part you're going to have to get out and let me decide that, all right? Life here is
if we veer away from the little girl's murder, I'm claiming it.
Okay, well, I don't want to go away from the little girl's murder. So you're saying you're worried about something else, but that's not the point. You're missing my point. I'm talking about the little girl's murder here.
Yeah.
That you're holding something back on
I'm
that.
not holding anything back from that.
I believe it is, and let me tell you why I think it is. Okay,
Yeah.
And then I want you to ask me questions about it also. Okay,
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have some questions of me.
Yeah.
I really think that one of the problems of what happened here is I believe, from reading all the reports that I did, from the interview with that other little girl who was there, okay?
What other girl?
There was two girls there.
I don't know anything about a second girl.
Okay, yeah, well, there were two girls out there. And they were playing out there when I believe that you came up there.
What?
Now listen to me. Then you're going to ask me the questions. And once again, I'm not saying that you killed anybody. You understand me?
Oh, man.
Okay. That's what I believe happened. And they said the little guy, you read the newspaper reports, and now did you Google this stuff at all when you called the FBI?
No.
I went to your house today, I noticed you had a computer back there.
Yeah.
You did no research on this at all?
No.
In this case, you never have done that?
No.
So if they're researching did your wife ever do any research on this?
No.
You never look like in the Sycamore Times or newspaper? Or...
No.
Okay. You made some reference about reading the newspapers before, though, correct?
It's just the only information I gave you is what I got out of a Sycamore newspaper, maybe.
When was that? At the time, or was it
Don't know.
recently? Oh, okay. Okay, but when you contacted the FBI, you don't know if that was last year or the year before.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, there was another girl there also, and that you probably did. Maybe I'll refresh your
Was she
memory.
kidnapped too?
No, she wasn't.
How old was she?
She was the same age. They were best friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah, best friends.
Okay.
And she's still alive today. And actually, I think you met the two detectives that were here. Actually, another detective.
Yeah.
They interviewed her.
Yeah.
Okay. And once again, I'm saying this is where I believe that you're hiding something. Okay. And I'll tell you why I think you're hiding something.
I'm going to tell you you're wrong right now.
Okay. Well, you better hear what I say first before you say I'm wrong. Okay. What I believe kind of happened here is I believe that you did go out there. And that's fine. Just let me. Then you can answer the questions. So these two girls were out there, and they knew that the guy, and they knew as Johnny. And Johnny said that he was very nice to the girl. He knew Maria, and he offered them a piggyback ride. And I believe that what happened is that person was you. And
oh my God!
And that you did give him the piggyback.
All right,
ride.
I'm lawyering up.
Oh, that's fine. But just listen to what I'm saying. And that they did give you a piggyback ride. But that girl didn't say you killed her. You understand that?
Okay.
So what happened though, somebody left
there. Is no way I could have even been in the area, okay?
Why wouldn't you have been in the area?
I was in the induction center all day long. Okay. I didn't even know when she got, what time of day she got. I found out when I got home that Mom says Maria's been kidnapped. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's all I know. But if I made a phone call from Rockford, which you've got,
I know right where it's at, yeah.
And at 7:00, after I got off the train, Sycamore is 30 miles away from Rockford. This is an hour after she was kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the train.
So you took the train there?
From Chicago to Rockford.
From Chicago to Rockford.
Yeah.
Now how'd you end up in Chicago?
Chicago is where the induction center was.
That's where the AFIS station is at in Chicago.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know that.
Yeah. I spent the whole damn day there, and they've got records, or they had records of me from every goddamn minute from the time I arrived. I mean, they were looking at my butt and everything all day long. And then when I was done with it, I don't remember perfectly, but I'm assuming I took the train because I wouldn't drive my car to Chicago, and I got rid of my car anyway because I was going in service.
Actually, but you did have your car at that time, though.
No.
I believe it was a DeSoto. Is that what he said?
No.
Or not DeSoto.
48 Plymouth Coupe, and it was a piece of crap.
So when you got when you saved up money working your
Yeah, right.
Okay, and you said you had got rid of that car already with that on that
Yeah,
day?
yeah,
So by December 3rd, you had that sold.
yeah.
So you didn't have a car at all.
Didn't have a car.
And so when somebody brought you to the train station,
Yeah,
and that was your friend, or that was
I don't know.
you just don't remember.
Yeah, 50 years ago.
Understandably so. Yeah, understandably so. And the induction people they gave you, or the recruiters, I don't know, this was the Air Force or the Army you were going in, I forgot.
I was going in the Air Force at that time.
The Air Force, they gave you a ticket to take to go off to come to Chicago or Rockford. Which one? I forgot which one you're going to.
I was in Chicago.
You were in Chicago. Okay.
That's where the induction center is.
Okay. So my point is, how did you get from Sycamore to Chicago?
I don't know.
John wouldn't budge or open up with a lot of things during his questioning. He was curious, however, as to why all of a sudden this case was reopened.
Why do you think this investigation kind of got reopened again?
Probably because I made the call.
Well, actually, it was going on a little bit before. You said you made the call to the FBI a year ago.
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you were just inquiring about what's the status of the case?
No. I told him about the guy. Tell me the name.
Oh, the guy we just mentioned?
Yeah. Brooks.
Oh, about Brooks?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's.
So that's when you. So anyway, they'll be able to verify that because they'll be phoned it up. I remember what I was telling you about earlier. I said I didn't think you killed her. Okay, remember I said that to you?
Yeah.
I said I believe that you were there, and there's the other little girl that
I wasn't there.
Okay, well,
I
I'm
just
not saying you were
proved it
there.
to
I'm not
you.
saying. Well, no, you haven't proved me. You remember you said that you were. I'm not saying you were there when she was killed. Okay, I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that you took the girl down over. I told you.
Well, you're absolutely wrong. I didn't even go over on that block, hardly ever.
You didn't go over that block over there?
Right, that was not the area I hung around. My neighbor kids were closer.
Okay. Slide that over there, would you?
Yeah. Don't know any of these guys.
Slide that over.
Don't know any of them.
I told you there was the two little girls there. One girl got killed, and the other little girl. She said the person who came there, who said his name was Johnny, who lived nearby, and gave him a piggyback ride. They said he was very nice, and they said he was one of these guys here, and her name's, and she signed her name on the bottom of that photograph. Can you picture anybody out here that you know in this photograph?
I don't know any of these guys, and I don't think any of these guys are from Sycamore.
I'll just look at every picture and turn it over to it's definitely start with one and then just look at it and just.
Well, no. These guys aren't from Sycamore.
Okay. What do you think this guy looks like?
Don't know.
You know what that guy looks like?
He might look like me, but he's too feminine looking.
That's you from a wedding picture. Obviously, that's Xerox.
Hmm?
That's a Xerox picture. That was you. It's a little whited out right there. That's you from a wedding picture that was put into this montage that the girl said was Johnny that gave the girl the piggyback ride. Once again, she didn't say you killed anybody, but that's what they're saying. Number 2, listen to this part. Number 2, okay? Jack, look at me. Number 2, okay? You know why this other case got other information we received? This is all documented, this other information that we received. Know who said that? Know who told us that you did this? Someone who I think is from all the information I read, is a very smart person, a very intelligent person, and someone who had lived with a bunch of guilt for a long time before she passed away.
Yeah, you're going to say my mom, that's bullshit.
Well, why do you say it's bullshit?
Because she wouldn't suspect me of murder, and she knew where I was.
I'm telling you exactly. I'll show you the documentation that said that she said that you're the one who did this, and that she said she was ashamed of it. And getting back to this is that other little girl who said, this is her signature right down here. Once again, this is Xerox. That said, now Jack, once again, I still think you're covering for somebody. I think somebody did something there. I think you were there when not when the girl got killed, but I think you were there when the girl got the little piggyback ride. I'm not saying you took the girl and killed. I'm saying you were there, and then you walked off, or somebody else came up there, and you remember this, and you're trying to hide this or cover for somebody, and I don't know who you're trying to cover for. If it's one of these other,
I'm not covering for anybody, and I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think I ever gave Maria or her friends a piggyback ride, for Christ's sake.
Well, it was just Maria, not the other girl. The other girl was there, and she was standing, and she picked you, and she completely picked you out. Yeah. Now, there's no doubt in my mind that you were the person who was there. I'm not saying that you went and killed her. Like I say, you're trying to hide something else, and I don't know if you're trying to cover for somebody or whatever. But you were the person who was there during this time.
This is 2 blocks away from my house.
Okay.
Everybody in the neighborhood knew me.
Okay.
Knew me.
Mm-hmm. What did they know you as? Or who did they know you as? Did they know you as Johnny?
Yeah. Well, there's two Johnnies. I was Big John, and he was Little John. The other kid was Little John.
Who was the other kid?
Johnny Boyce.
Was that one of your buddies?
He was a neighbor. He lived 2 houses away, or 1 house away.
Was he with you?
No.
Well, but you're also known as Johnny. Is that correct?
I don't know if as a teenager I was known as Johnny.
Okay.
I was John then.
Well, she's saying it was Johnny, and she's saying this was the Johnny who did. She didn't say you hurt anybody, okay? But she's saying that you were the guy there who gave him the piggyback ride. And she went back home to go get a doll or to go back and get a mittens. And when she came back, the 2 of you were gone. So it's either saying that you actually left that area and the little older girl left the area and went with somebody else, okay? But there's no doubt in our mind that you were the guy who was there. Now, we can't sugarcoat this any other way, is you got to tell us exactly what happened there, okay? And by saying I don't remember, because you do remember this, you remember so much detail about that day.
You're full of shit, okay?
I'm full of shit.
I don't remember anything like this.
You don't remember anything like that at all?
No.
Do you remember giving any little girl a piggyback?
No.
Have you ever given her a piggyback?
No.
Neither one of them girls? You never
Neither
gave
one
her?
of them.
Okay.
The detective then broke the news to John that the polygraph he took in 1957 that he claims to have passed, he actually showed signs of deception.
Good stuff. And you remember a couple of times you said you took the FBI test, the polygraph at the FBI?
Yeah.
You told somebody actually told your mother that you passed it?
Yeah.
Well, actually, you failed that test. And did the FBI tell you that you passed the test, or did they say it was inconclusive?
I watched the test. I was hooked up to it. I watched the test. It didn't have any when I answered questions. They said, "Did you murder blah blah blah?" I said, "No."
Did they ever ask you, did you murder her?
Did you kill her? I guess.
Okay. There was a part in that questionnaire, and it was actually a pretty short interview with that when the FBI conducted that polygraph examination. There was a part of that polygraph when they were interviewing you, and they said, you know how it shows that you're deceptive and stuff.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, the old days it was a little bit more of a little line. Actually, you would not actually be able to decipher it, but a good poly examiner will be. And did you know anything about the homicide? The disappearance of this girl, and you said no, and then have you ever seen her before? And were you in contact with these 2 girls that day? Your thing said it was deceptive. once again, I'm going back to this. And, you told me before you never gave her a piggyback ride, or now you're saying that you may have at another time.
Never.
Earlier you said that you didn't know if you gave her one or not. But now you're saying you never ever gave her a piggyback ride? Okay.
You remember me asking for a lawyer?
No.
As we were walking out of the building, I said, I want a lawyer.
Did you?
And you were standing right beside me.
Uh-huh. Who'd you say that to?
You.
To me?
Yes.
In this building here?
No. Up at the at my building.
At the Four Freedoms?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I don't recall that.
That's interesting.
Now, these Texas interviews...
Because you said don't worry about it.
That's how I said to you?
Yeah.
This is when I was driving you in here?
No. Walking out of the building.
Okay. So what is it you're saying to me now?
What I'm saying to you now is you think I have something to do with it.
What did I tell you I think you had something to do with? The murder? Did I say that I think you had something to do with being there with those two girls before she was taken? I said you're being deceptive about something. You were deceptive in your polygraph with the FBI. You were deceptive when your mother on her deathbed believes that you were involved in this. On her deathbed, she said this. Okay. Are you telling me you don't know about that?
Don't know about that.
Okay.
I don't believe it either.
You don't believe that?
No.
I'll go and I'll find the documentation on that for you and I'll bring it to you. Okay?
Doesn't matter.
Okay. Why would your mother say that to you? Your mother doesn't seem, all the reports that I read, it doesn't seem like your mother's the type of person who's going to make something up out of nowhere.
No, she wouldn't.
Okay.
And this didn't happen.
And what didn't happen?
This is what you're telling me. It didn't happen.
That your mother didn't, on her deathbed, didn't say you did this?
Right. My mother knew I didn't do it.
Yeah. So she just made this up? She decided to
Somebody
tell
made
people on her
it up. Somebody made it up. There's a whole bunch of making up here.
Who's making up? Are these people?
I've heard so many things today I had no knowledge of.
Well, I don't know what the other guys asked you about,
Yeah.
but this girl here is saying this is Johnny.
Yeah.
This girl here gets a train ticket, an unused train ticket that you were supposed to have used and you didn't use that night, that she still happened to have by Johnny.
Yeah.
John's interrogation lasted almost 7 hours. Eventually, he would lawyer up, stop talking, and be arrested for the kidnapping and murder of Maria Ridulph.
Okay, now that I know that you think I'm involved, I really do want a lawyer.
Sounds like a winner to me.
Yeah.
Sounds like a winner to me. And then I'll just end this. I'll end our conversations then. You do not want to talk to me anymore. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we're done.
Okay. No, that's fine with me. That's fine with me. You'll be booked.
And you've heard of the fruit of the poisonous tree, right?
The fruit of the poisonous tree.
Right.
Um,
So everything you've asked me since we left the building is no good.
Everything I've asked you since we've left the building.
That's right, when I asked for a lawyer.
You asked me for a lawyer.
Yes, I said I want a lawyer.
Okay. And I said no.
Yeah. Well, you didn't say no, but you blew me off.
I blew you off.
Yeah.
You're going to be arrested. You're under arrest for murder.
Okay.
You're going to be placed into the King County Jail.
Okay. I need a phone call.
Hang on, I'll get to that. The phone call stuff all comes from over the jail. We don't have anything to do with that.
Okay.
They give you a phone call as they see fit. You'll have a first appearance probably tomorrow. I don't know what time is it right now. It's
This is 21.
you'll probably have first
quarter
appearance Thursday or Friday, your second appearance. They'll ask you if you want to waive extradition or not. Fight extradition doesn't make any difference. You're going to be extradited to Chicago, and then you'll be placed in the DeKalb County Jail there, where you wait sentencing. Probably going to be a little meaty on this thing too, but that'll come as soon as they book you into the jail.
You're making a really big mistake. I am innocent.
Prove it. What did I tell you the whole time?
You've made up your mind already.
What did I say? Did I say you killed that girl?
You've made up your mind already.
Did I say that you killed that girl?
Did you?
I'm asking you, did I say that to you? No, I never said that to you. What did I say that I knew you did?
Tell me.
I'll tell you exactly what I said. I said I knew you were out there and you gave those girls the piggyback ride. Not her, but Maria. That's right. I didn't say you killed her. I said that's how you gave her the piggyback ride.
Then how can you arrest me for murder? Yep.
This was the little girl that was...
And between you and me, I want the person who did that to be strung up.
What do you want to happen to them?
Electric chair.
They don't have the penalty in Illinois anymore.
Yeah.
We have it here in Washington. They don't have it in Illinois anymore.
Yeah.
They're a little more barbaric than we are. I told you before, I never said you killed her. I knew that you were there, though. I knew that you were there when those girls came out. When that girl picked your picture out there and said, Johnny. And she signed her name right there.
Yeah. I didn't even recognize that picture myself.
Well, don't forget, this is a carbon from what the picture was. But you do know who that is there.
Yeah.
You tell me you still don't, you do recognize that as being you, right?
I didn't.
Okay, but you do now, though, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's you. So why would this little girl say, this guy who said his name is Johnny is the one who did this? So that's just out of the blue. Some little girl's going to say that. So you go tell that to the grand jury when they're investigating this. When they go like this, and you tell them that, no, it wasn't me. And you tell them why your mom was on her deathbed, and why the family didn't want you to come to her funeral, insisted that you don't come to her funeral, and what's your other little sister's name? Let me see. Henry Master stating that her sister, Jean Tesser, had more memories referencing the information she would be providing. Sometime in 1994, her husband, or her sister Mary Tesser, were by her mother's bedside in the hospital. Jan's mother told her to Mary that John murdered Maria, the little girl that went missing from Sycamore. Jan added, her mother explained, remember the two little girls? See my face? Remember the two little girls?
Who's saying this?
Your sister.
Jan?
Mm-hmm. You better start doing some selling yourself. You better start selling me why you didn't do this or who did this.
I have no idea. And why wouldn't I be cooperative? I've been cooperative. Normally, I would have just not said a goddamn word.
And you've been sitting over in the King County Jail on your ass, getting ready to be extradited.
Doesn't matter.
And where you're going to be sitting for the next year in the Cobb County Jail, waiting to go to trial. Then after they convict you for murder in the first degree, I'll be honest with you, I didn't see in the autopsy report, so I don't even know if there's allegations that this girl was raped or not. So, once again, I don't know about that, or if she was sexually assaulted. But I do know there's allegations about you sexually assaulting other people, and you're pretty defensive about that. And I believe those other little people that you were sexually assaulting were your relatives. And I'm sure when they get on the stand there, and they talk about how you sexually assaulted all those little girls, and how many years this shit went on. And I think there's something else about when you were a policeman here also. I think there were some allegations about some young girl. When this all goes to the grand jury, give me a holler, because I'm sure someone else is going to give me a holler to come down there and talk to you. And we're also going to play the good part about how you believe that your mom is the salt of the earth. And it sounds like from everybody I've spoken to, she is the salt of the earth. And how she said her little Johnny, which she used to call you Johnny, murdered that little girl. And then you're going to think back and you say, you know, that detective Szynski, that guy from Seattle, who's done all these cases, maybe he wasn't all that bad a guy. Maybe I should have come clean to him. And I wouldn't have to be doing the rest of my life in prison.
I've already come
Oh, bullshit. You fucking circled it. You contradicted yourself 20 fucking times.
I told you I didn't do it.
You contradict yourself about everything else.
That's the truth.
So what happened then? You didn't do it. Who did it then? Who are you covering for?
I'm not covering.
Oh, you're telling me you weren't there and then that girl piggyback ride. Of all the people in the world, this girl says you're the one who gave the piggyback ride when she went back.
I have no idea.
Okay, so that's going to be your defense? I have no idea why that girl picked me. I have no idea why my mother said I did it.
I have no idea.
I have no idea how I lied and how I failed the FBI polygraph test. I said I took the train, even though here's the ticket that your girlfriend gave to you. That you gave to your girlfriend, and she kept for 50 years. Oh, look at this. Kind of a good stroke of luck on our part. Not so lucky on your part. You agree?
I didn't do it.
Well, who did then?
I have no idea.
No idea. And you even helped search for the little girl.
Yep.
You know how many times I've been in this room, I have to listen to this kind of bullshit from people like you that saying this, oh, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, you know. And then it comes down to court time, and then all of a sudden, I better start thinking about what really happened here. And it's usually a little bit too late. You do realize this. You're under arrest. You're going to be going right next door here to the King County Jail, and then you're going to be taking the big airplane back to your hometown of Sycamore. When was the last time you were in Sycamore? You weren't there for the funeral.
I was there 2 weeks before the funeral.
No, you didn't make it for the funeral, though. Why didn't they want you there? It wasn't that bullshit you told me earlier that you were in the Army, because actually you weren't in the Army back then.
We're done.
No? What happened?
We're done. Where's my lawyer?
I think you'll get it when you go to Illinois.
Fine.
Give me a holler sometime.
You think you're right, but you're wrong.
No?
Maria Ridulph's body would be exhumed to attempt to find additional DNA evidence against John, but nothing was found, though it was noted that it appeared that Maria was stabbed in the neck multiple times, a new development but a painful reminder of what Maria must have gone through when she died. In 2012, John Tessier, aka Jack Daniel McCullough, was sentenced to life in prison for the kidnapping and murder of Maria Ridulph. He was 73 years old at the time of his sentencing. And with that, you would think that this would be the end of our story. But again, you would be wrong. John Tessier always maintained his innocence and appealed his convictions. In 2016, John's conviction was vacated and he was released on bond pending a new trial. However, only a week later, the charges against John were officially dismissed without prejudice, which means that if evidence were to present itself further down the line, John could be tried for Maria's murder again. So, with this, John Tessier was a free man again.
After a 2-hour hearing at the DeKalb County Courthouse, Jack McCullough went from a man serving a life sentence to a man with a new lease on life.
Coming from an environment of you can't do anything to where you can do anything, I mean, you got to know what freedom is.
And when McCullough heard these words,
this court does believe the defendant has met his burden.
The 76-year-old sighed, dropped his head, and let pent-up emotions flow.
Tell us what went through your head when the judge said that.
I was about to cry. It was pretty wonderful.
4 years ago, McCullough was convicted of the 1957 murder of 7-year-old Maria Ridulph, abducted while playing in the snow. He was sentenced to life in prison, a place, he said, where he wasn't the only innocent man.
And there are people there who have changed their lives while they've been there, and they deserve another shot. And I just hope that my getting out, it gives them hope.
Newly discovered records showed McCullough made a collect phone call from downtown Rockford about the same time as Maria's disappearance, proving an alibi he'd long held.
I'm just happy to be out.
Members of Maria Ridulph's family remain convinced McCullough is guilty, but by vacating McCullough's conviction, Ridulph's murder is once again officially a mystery.
On April 12, 2017, John Tessier was declared actually innocent of the crime. Did the police have the wrong man? Was John truly innocent after all that speculation? It's difficult to say. In some instances, it seems that he is more than capable of committing the crime. John Tessier, regardless of whether or not he is innocent of murdering Maria Ridulph, is a horrendous human. He is a predator who preyed on young girls. Unfortunately, in the case of Maria, the evidence against him was just too circumstantial, so John walks around as a free man. The kidnapping and murder of Maria Ridulph has once again gone cold. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Apex and the Abyss. If you'd like to chat, feel free to reach out on Twitter, Instagram, the show's Facebook, and group, or you can send an email to apexandabyss@gmail.com. You can support the show in many ways. You can head on over to Patreon and become a monthly donor. You can go to the show website to make a one-time donation, or you can purchase show merchandise. All the links will be posted in the show notes. Have a great week, everyone. Until next time.
It's just a aching from within. It seems so much worse now, emotionally, than it even was back then when it was fresh. We were shielded as much as possible from a lot of the details that are coming out now.
But then over this past year,
it has been very, very difficult. The hardest thing, and people, I should have been prepared for it because people told me that they're probably going to want to exhume Maria's body. That was so disturbing for that to take place. When I see her in my head, I see her in the backyard and I see her playing with the wagon. We had all kinds of pets growing up as a kid, and including rabbits. I have no bad recollections at all of her. She was a happy child. I can't remember of anything she disliked. Isn't that something to be able to say that?
how did you feel after all those years?
The emotion had not set in at this point of what this really meant and how it was going to impact us. I hadn't really processed what it was going to mean to us as a family. It has been very, very difficult. Her service for reburial was such a blessing to me in particular. My daughter Maria was named after my sister Maria. When she was a young child, we were separated. And my daughter Maria, whom I had not seen in 40 years, was there with me at my side. It was such an event of healing.